Good afternoon and good morning. Kent Bain with Nine Business Group and Elevate Chat. Elevate your business chat. We have the pleasure of David Boroditsky joining us today. David, welcome to the program. Please introduce yourself, your company name, what makes you different, what sets you apart.
Hi, Kent. Happy to be here. My company is called Array Innovations. And what sets us apart from our competition is, I think, how long we've been doing this. We were incorporated back in 1996, and I had an IT career going back another 12 years before that. And I have staff that's been with me a very long time. I have two employees that have been with us for more than 20 years. Another one who's coming up on 18, another one is coming up on 16 or 17. So we have a lot of experience in this company. And we've seen a lot of things. We've done a lot of things. We've worked with a lot of different technologies, with a lot of different clients, and a lot of sectors for many years.
Well, that's awesome. Since 1996,
Yes.
this is not a question. This is more a statement of, oh, holy crap. I can only imagine the change you've seen in what, 25 plus years.
It'll be
Absolutely phenomenal.
27 in March.
Dude, that's cool. So what sets you guys apart? What makes you different?
Well, what makes this different is I don't want to blow my own horn too much, but me is one of the things that makes us different. Is my extensive experience. I was in the right place at the right time when personal computers came around. I was one of those weird kids in high school that used to hang out in the library, working on the computers at lunch. And I would teach the teachers how to use the computers. I would do in-services after school for the teachers. And so I really grew up in an environment in which there was this new technology and these new tools with new capabilities. And I was able to get on the learning curve and stay on there. And so I've got this continuous knowledge and experience, from the 1980s through to now. And so, does that make me better at things that I do? I don't know, but it means I have a greater sense of the history, the continuity. I can relate to people where they're at in terms of their own knowledge and experience of technology. And that's really my role in the company, is to be the bridge between the client and the developers. I can sort of do that instantaneous translation between computerese and English and back and forth.
That's an important role. In 27 years, what has been the biggest challenge you've overcome? How did you tackle it? How did you solve it? What was the outcome, and how does it sit today?
Right. So aside from the challenge related to having had business partners to not now having business partners, which is a time-honored business challenge, I guess our biggest challenge has been the fact that we've had to pivot several times over the course of 27 years. In the beginning, we were an ISP. We had modems, and people, used dial-up to get on the internet through us. But it became pretty clear around 1999, 2000 that really was not a very long-term strategy for success in our business, because the Teluses and the Shaws of the world were bringing cable modems in DSL to the masses, and we didn't have the ability to compete in that market. And so we pivoted quickly to, hey, let's build websites and do email things. And so we did that, and domain registrations, and wasn't that really fancy? But then again, it got commoditized, and big players came along, and there was a race to the bottom of how much, how many services can we offer for $12.99 a month. So then we sort of started writing code to do shopping carts and other sorts of website functionality. And again, after a few years, those things got commoditized, and GoDaddy came along and said, hey, here's our shopping cart. And then we're like, okay, what else can we do? Well, content management systems. People need websites that have different kinds of content that they can administer themselves and can, integrate with things and provide a better experience for the users than just a static website. So we developed content management systems. Then I could see, this WordPress thing, it's pretty crappy right now. It's getting, exploited every week or two, but eventually it's going to be better. So about 8 years ago, we had an opportunity to pivot again into developing sort of bespoke web applications for clients where they have databases and, can do business operation things through essentially a website. And so that's our current focus. And so the biggest challenge over the years has been, how do we pivot 4 times in 27 years? Because the rate of change in our industry is just phenomenal. Like things, the things that people can do now, the things that we can do in a month. Okay, 10 years ago, nobody could do in a year.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I think it's not just a month. I think sometimes it's what we can do in a day or in hours.
Yes.
That would take months before. Phenomenal.
Yes.
So the biggest challenge in summary is really just staying ahead of technology and being on the front of the change of technology to service the clients better, so you can see the change coming before it impacts your clients. Well done.
Yes.
What is one thing now that you wish you would have known 27 years ago?
That people would pay outrageous sums of money for domain names.
I love it. I love it. Have you been able to capitalize on any of that?
A little bit,
Yeah.
not as much as I could have or wish I had. But had we known how lucrative that would have been, I think our business focus would have just been on, let's just register all the domains we possibly can.
Funny. If there was a pirate, a thief in your business, what would they be stealing from you? And if you could, if they stole it, any idea where they'd be hiding it?
Right. So my employees generally are knowledge workers who write software. And so, yeah, they could steal copies of the software that they're paid to write, and they could steal, copies of, data that belong to our clients. It's unclear how profitable that would be for them. We're not dealing with, most of our clients aren't dealing with, very sensitive information or trade secrets or intellectual property that's particularly valuable. We're not developing patentable business processes and things like that.
Well, it's pretty safe to say in today's world that thieves aren't very smart, and they don't always steal the important things that are valuable. They sometimes just steal stuff or rob us of things that were important to our business. Now we have to rejig, reconfigure, fix. It's not necessarily a value, but it is a pain in the butt.
I guess they could steal time. I'm paying people for their time, and so they could, especially now that we're, working in a hybrid environment, they're not necessarily, doing work when they say they're doing work. But I kind of keep tabs on how much are people getting done. Are we getting the objectives met?
Yep.
Yeah.
In 27 years, has your definition of a successful business changed, and what does it mean for you to be successful?
Yeah, well, in the early days, success was, do we have enough money to do payroll this month? Yay! Right. So, early on, that's the success. I used to have aspirations of growing the company to be very large with, dozens or hundreds of employees. That used to be a goal because it seemed like that's what my goal should be, because that's what every business should aspire to be, is to grow and become large, and so that I could buy my own Caribbean island or have a private jet. I've sort of realized in the past few decades that I don't actually want that. I mean, if somebody wanted to, back a dump truck full of money up to my house and pour it on my lawn, I wouldn't object to that. But I'm not prepared to, give my life over to that kind of, growth for the sake of having more stuff. So for me, success is I have a job that I enjoy. I make a living. I have a staff that I enjoy working with. They make a living. And, we're not going to take over the world, but that's okay, because we all have lives and we get to live them, and we don't have, a crazy work environment. We don't have, crunch time. where everybody needs to work 70 or 80-hour weeks for 2 months. We don't do that. I used to always think to myself that I don't want to end up owning a business that I wouldn't want to work for. And I don't want to end up owning a business that I wouldn't want to do business with. These things are important to me. It's sort of my golden rule. So I'm not trying to conquer the world. I'm just trying to, provide a good service to my clients, a good, life for my employees and for myself and my family.
Good for you. Love it. Nice and modest. One last question, one of my favorites. What do you want to be known for?
I'd like to, well, all those things that I just said. I'd like to be known for being a decent, honorable, honest, respected business person who provided a good service. I like to also give back to the community. So I'm involved in a number of, not-for-profit and charitable organizations. So I like to give my time. I like to, give my whatever advice or wisdom that I might have to share. But I'd like to be known for providing bespoke software to businesses and organizations that, had challenges and problems, and then were able to engage us to mitigate those problems.
Fantastic. So just thank you very much for your time. Been a great guest. Give us one more plug. Where can people find you? What's your contact information, website, domain name, all that good stuff for the people that want to learn more about what you do? How can they find you?
Sure. So my email address is david@array.com, and Array is ARRAI, because I didn't have the foresight, years ago to register array.com or array.ca with a Y. So david@array.com, and you can visit our website at array.com, ARRAI.com. You can also give me a call. My direct number is 587-525-5900. And I'm very happy to speak with anyone about any kind of software needs. Everyone gets a free consultation, find out what we might be able to do for you, talk about what challenges you're having, and see if we can figure something out that makes sense for everybody.
Awesome. Thanks, David. You've been a great guest, and keep up the good work. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.